Good evening, everyone. Welcome to On Deck here on the Finstock Sports Network. I'm Russ Morgan here with Rob Mosley. As always, Rob, how are we doing today?
I can't complain, man. We're in the middle of pretty good, exciting baseball season. A lot of good races for the teams, some individuals. It's fun so far. I'm enjoying the 24 baseball
Yeah,
season.
definitely.
Yes.
I see a lot of good parity on both in the AL and NL. Some teams that maybe a little surprises that we didn't view to be this good. Obviously, for me, Cleveland, especially losing
Bieber.
Bieber early, I thought it was over, and they're still holding their own. And obviously, the Brewers for me too are a surprise, just because you give up Burns, you think they're sellers, but hey, 7 games over 500 and what game and a half up in the Central. So I mean, I like the parity. It's good. It's always good for the game.
No, it is. I mean, it's fun. There should be a lot of good division races, wild card races, and that's really all you can ask for is have competitive baseball throughout the season. So
And now obviously Kansas City's a surprise too, which is looking really good. Just it's always good. Throw a good. We got a couple small market teams having some pretty good seasons so far. Hopefully they can keep it up. Right.
yeah,
Well, oh yeah, go my bad.
no, I was just gonna say, yeah, hopefully so, because so far it's been fun. It's good to see some of the small market teams have a bat in the race and do well. I'm with you on that take.
Well, I'm going to kick it off. Paul Skeen's got his third start. Uh, I know, obviously, I think we're both kind of personally invested from all the story, all the lead up that we want to see this guy succeed. And you read anything about him, and I mean, I've had talked to him personally, and then reading about him, like, hey, this guy looks like a stand up guy that Major League Baseball can advertise as someone who is doing it the right way, and he's a stand up individual. And he had another. For me, I thought it was another quality start. I mean, Pirates kind of squandered that start, but I thought it was just another quality start. What do you think?
Thank you. Yes, Skeens is definitely living up to the billing, and he's pitched 6 innings the last 2 outings, and of course his previous outing to yesterday. If you're going to compare that, you're people go their whole careers with that with not doing what he did that first, 12 strikeouts and 11 strikeouts and 12 plus pitches over 100. So if you're going to compare that to the rest of them, that's not easy to do. Yeah, he pitched well yesterday. He still got the 6 innings pitched, and his velocity was a little bit down, but that, like you said, is probably more like they tell him, "Hey, young man, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's just you don't need to throw over 100, 17 times in one game." And yesterday he only threw 4 pitches over 100 miles per hour, and he still gave up only 1 run in 6 innings. And he's still not walking many people. So
I mean, yeah, I thought it was a solid start. I like to see him kind of split it up. I'm sure it's he's got a couple starts under his belt, a couple we're a little under maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks with the big club. So his pitching coach is finally getting. Obviously, in spring training, he had his hands on him, but now during the season, he's getting his hands on him and like, hey, you can't just blow these people away, because I mean these are MLB hitters. Even though 102 super fast, after a while, if that's all you got, they're gonna jump on it. These guys are.
yeah, no, for
You got.
sure. And real quick, hey Jeff of the Back It Up Bins podcast, thank you so much for rolling
Yeah,
in here. And
thanks,
I
bro.
will get back to my football stuff in the very near future. I just been taking a little hiatus. There's not really that much to talk about. All bickering on the Dolphins fandom. So I'm taking a step back and say, let's just enjoy the good game of baseball. And when training camp rolls around and the Dolphins get back at it, I'll be back talking Miami Dolphins football as always. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Bruce, I almost called you Paul since we're talking about Paul Skeens, but I think the kid, he's good, man, and I'm happy he's up in the majors now. ready to go. And there's no reason to waste all that great energy in the minors when he was just mowing them down like it was a man among boys. So now he's up there with other.
Yeah, definitely up there with other men. Uh, yeah. I mean, the strikeout numbers were down, but I mean, you still go 6 innings, giving up 1 run. That's another quality start for Skeens under his belt. I'm excited to see what the Pirates do. You know, you got for it's all good. It happens. It happens.
Hey guys, my Wi-Fi is wonky again, so there's a warning. If I drop out, it's not because I'm running away from Russ. It's just because my internet drops out. So
You're getting away with this Yankees fan. I mean, but hey, if you're looking at for me, the Pirates are an exciting ball club. I mean, you got obviously Paul Skeens. Everybody, if you didn't know about Paul Skeens and you're a baseball fan, now everybody knows about him. But now you also got Jared Jones, who's really young too, who might be, 21, 22. He's drafted out of high school, so he spent a little more time in the minors as opposed to Skeens. But that's another young guy you got in there to market. Where you got obviously, was it what's the outfielder's name?
the Cruz guy, or no, not the Cruz.
Where's the
O'Neill.
Brian Reynolds, right?
Oh, Brian Reynolds. Oh, okay.
He's there, and obviously O'Neill Cruz is exciting. So I mean, for me, it's an exciting ball club, a lot of youth, which we'll see what they do with that.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope they can win some with Reynolds, because Reynolds stuck there, he signed the extension with them, and everyone thought he was going to be gone eventually, or that they would trade him, or he would just leave via free agent. But they re-upped him, so hopefully his dedication to the Pittsburgh organization, starts paying off with some of those young guys coming up, and they can do some winning.
Well, today I think we talked about the standings. I go off a little ESPN power ranking. Houston, they're at 17 right now, right? Slowly climbing out of the hole.
I know. Me and you put them to pasture, and here they are.
I think a lot of people want them to put the pasture, but they're slowly, climbing out of the hole at 22 and 28. And I wouldn't be surprised. You're starting to, for me, they're starting to get some of their pitching back, and they're just a solid run organization.
No. I mean, unfortunately, you are 100% right. They are a solid run organization, and they've had good prospects over the years that they developed themselves and got, and then they fill in a couple pieces to, supplement the team, and it's all good.
I mean, you got
All right,
Kyle.
hold on 1 second. You can keep on going. I got to close my door. All right, hold on.
You got Kyle Tucker's Gold Glove out there, All Star. You got Pena, who's World Series MVP, who took over for Correa. So I mean, I think it's bound to start clicking, but we'll see if they can stay healthy. The other thing I want to, did you see? What's his first name? Ranello Blanco, who they caught sticky stuff on him on his.
Oh, yes, I know. I was saying it had to be an Astro too, of all the guys. It's just like you're never gonna get rid of that reputation of trying to cut corners or whatever. But yeah, and they gave him a 10-game suspension. So obviously, when they sent the glove off to be inspected, there was whatever substance was on there, wasn't allowed to be on there, and they gave him a 10-game suspension. So
which
who knows?
The umpire said it's the most he's seen since they've been doing this.
Yeah. And I mean, you could probably get away with like maybe a little bit, but if you're trying to get too carried away, it's insane that they would, because now, and whether you think it's silly that they check or whatever, but they know what the rules are, because rules for years were always, Gaylord Perry used to say how he used to doctor up the ball, and it was always against the rules, but it's never really enforced that hard or whatever. But now they're enforcing that sticky stuff rule, and
the rules back then were don't get caught. You don't get caught, no one knows.
Yeah, exactly. But now it's harder to get not get caught, if that makes sense. because it's more difficult to get away with it because they do checks on what when they're coming off the mound and all of that stuff. So it's just you have to have some secret way to do it that somehow magically goes off your hands by the time your innings
Yeah, I
you're
mean, I
happy.
think it's hard. I mean, I know guys, using sunscreen, anything, but now I'm like, probably don't even allow that. We got your Red Sox. They're at 11 at 26 and 24. What are you thinking? Obviously, it's not what you want. You know, as a Red Sox fan, you want them to be,
Oh, I want them to be way up there, but for what I
yeah,
was expecting to what they are, they're doing a little better than what I was expecting, and they've had their bouts of being really bad. Then they've had their bouts of being really good. So, they're probably about a 500 team at the end of the day. I think at the end of the year, they're probably going to be right around there. But hey, they went into Tampa for the first time since 2019. Not only did they win the series, they swept the series for the first time since 2019. And that was the first time we had done since 2009 either one of those. We hadn't even won a series since 2019 or swept the series since 2019. So to go into Tampa, because yes, Tampa's not maybe as dominant as they've been over the past few years in the regular season, like they've been one of the best in our division. But because they just came in last week in Boston and took 3 or 4 all close battled games, but they took 3 or 4 from the Red Sox. So I thought we were going to go take a beat down in the Trop and to escape with all 3 victories. To me, it made for a fun time watching the Red Sox over the past week.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, a little Garrett Whitlock is down with the UCL.
Oh,
TJ
I know.
Tommy
You
John
always got to be
on
the downer. You have to throw that
on the
down. But I
table.
know, and it is what it is. I was ashamed because I was thinking, oh, he's going to be back. I thought for sure he's the one that would come back before somebody did. But now Pavetta's back, Bellows back, and Whitlock is down for a while being shut down. So it is what it is.
We got Seattle's at 10 right now. They're 27-24. I mean, I can't get into Seattle. They just don't excite me. I think it's a wide open race for me in that West.
Yeah, sorry, I dropped out again. It may be a short night here on the baseball show if I keep on dropping out, but I will stick as best as I can. No, you're right. And Seattle actually, took a couple games from you. It was the
Yeah,
first time like the Yankees lost since eternity, a couple games in a row. That was the first time in all of May. You guys never lose. I mean, you still won like 15 of your last 17 games or some crazy stat like that, but two of those losses came to the Mariners, which,
yeah, two of the and a nice bad loss for the Yankees too, where Clay Holmes finally gave up his first run and blew a save.
yeah.
So that wasn't good.
Yeah,
Uh,
it happens. I mean, you guys are one of the best in baseball, and it's just like the Phillies when we get to talk about them for a minute. They're just
they're
they're
looking
just on
good.
fire. I
Yeah,
did hear today though that the Phillies have played. Take it for what it's worth because they're all major league teams, but they've played the weakest schedule thus far in all of MLB, and it's just coincidentally they have the best record in baseball. But you got to keep that in account. Some of those teams have some losses because the Phillies maybe beat them down some. So that's why you got to take their strength of schedule into effect. But they did say on the MLB but network today that they don't really get into until here in June. So it's coming up soon that they start getting into more of the meat of their schedule and tougher games and what have you. But up to this time, they've played the weakest schedule. But at that said, they've won 37 games. They're on a phenomenal pace, and they're pretty well-rounded team across the board.
yeah, they are. We got the Cubs are at 3 games. They're 27-24. Seems like the MLB still hasn't figured out Imanaga, who's 5-0, got a .84 ERA, and he's done that against 9 teams. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
No, I know. I mean, and that's the guy that, he was like the afterthought. He was like the secondary prize, people thought, in the Japanese free agent market. They were like, oh, he's just like for the teams that can't get Yamamoto and being this, he's a good fallback. and here he is out pitching him so far. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
Cubs.
Yamanano's doing okay. I'm not throwing, but he's
Yeah,
just
he's
doing.
doing pretty good too. I
Yeah,
mean, he's
he
got
is,
a
but
lot
this
more.
guy's really doing well with his ERA and stuff. So
He's got a lot more firepower in that offense than the Cubs do. So he probably gets a little more run support.
yeah. Oh no, I mean he's doing great too. I shouldn't. I'm just saying though, people just didn't think he was going to be all that, and eventually maybe people will figure him out since he doesn't have like maybe the greatest stuff. They said he's just a strike thrower, very consistent. But as the season goes on and people start seeing him for a second time, maybe that changes. But right now, I mean, he's a great story. I like his energy out there on the mound, and it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely fun to watch. We got Kansas City at 32-19. So the what they're I think they're a game and a half back of the Indians right now, which is very I mean, obviously you picked the Indians, which is looking like a good pick. I picked the Twins. No, none of us really brought up Kansas City besides talking about Bobby Witt.
Yep, I know, and I know exactly, and they're right there in the thick of it. Could be the team that ends up winning it. They're another team that they got some good young players. So it's going to be interesting to see that division unfold because I don't know if the Guardians could sustain what they're doing, but who knows? Maybe even I mean the Twins are still in it. They're only they're 6.5 back, but in baseball you just get one hot week or you beat these teams in head-to-head competition, and those 6.5 games can quickly become like 2 games or 3 games or whatever. So it all three of those teams could be in the mix all year. But yeah, both the Guardians and Royals have been fun so far this year for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, but hey, all these young players, all these young guys the Royals got, and the guy who's leading the team in home runs, average, and RBIs is Salvador Perez, the old man on the one man remaining from that 2015 World Series.
I know it's funny that he's having a overall good year because to be on the same team as Witt and to be out hitting him and stuff, that's pretty impressive, man.
I mean, and obviously defensively is the Gold Glove catcher, so he does it on the defensive side too, which is great. I love Salvador Perez, and I mean, pitching Seth Lugo 7-1 with the 1.79 ERA, and this is was a stretch starter, long reliever with the Mets for a while, so he's finally getting his run as a starter now, and
I know he was another guy that I thought maybe the Red Sox would look at, and he would be like a fallback opposite. And I was like, I could live. And then here he is doing well over there. This
you
is
got the Brewers 28-21, obviously leading the NL Central, game and a half up on the Cubs. Yelich is having a nice comeback year. William Contreras having a nice year, batting 333. Hoskins having 9 home runs.
yeah, I know, and he missed all of last year, so it's
But
pretty impressive.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I mean, we both said it's a wide open division. I'd like
Oh
to see
no,
the
that's for sure. And so our next division we would touch on is far from a wide open division, but you can already crown the chance. But yeah, right now, and the Cardinals have gotten a little bit back into it.
Cardinals
So
got back in. Cincinnati's looking not too good, but long season, but
yeah,
10 games under. Pittsburgh, who knows? They're young, you know. Uh,
yeah, no, for sure, man. Like you said, for sure.
but I
So
mean, beating a dead horse. We've said it every week. Cleveland, not. I say it every week, and I'm sick of it. Which I just don't. Cleveland doesn't excite me, but they find a win ball. They find a way to win a ball game, and 33-17.
no, we went back. Okay, going back. Yeah, I know. No, you're right. And Jose Ramirez is starting to hit the ball well again. So they're a team that Like I say, we'll see, man. That's hard. Also, a couple of those divisions are hard. Just like I think our division I know we already talked about the East, but I think it's basically between you guys and the Orioles right now, and you guys are just playing really hot. So you're out a few games ahead of the Orioles, but it's a long season. You guys got a lot more head to head against them. But just like in that division, the Guardians and the Royals, they're only a game and a half separates the Royals from the Guardians. But then right behind them, you get the Twins. So it's that whole division again is open between those three teams at the very least.
I mean, they're definitely three-team race. One thing I will hit on, and I don't like right now is yes, they have the Yankees up 3 games, but if we're really getting at it, they're only up a half game because at the end of the day, they're all going to have the same amount of games played. I'm like, they only have 18 losses. We have 17. They're saying we've just played more games than Baltimore.
Yeah. And then the one thing about a loss, you can't get that game back. So maybe, that's why that helps you a little bit too. But yeah, but you guys are just on fire right now. But you're going to hit
Hit that middle,
most of the
yeah.
time, even the best teams, even the 2018 Red Sox, they didn't have many bumps in the road, but they had a couple, so you're going to hit a couple bumps in the road, but you have to hope you got enough separation from the people right breathing down your neck that your bumps in the road, you're not going to lose your lead, so that's it. So both of those teams are really good though. So
Yeah, looking solid. We got the Braves right there. The Braves are what 29-18. The
yeah, and they're
Cubs,
my pick. I picked the Braves in that division, but so far, and it's not like I was that bad. I mean, but they're 6 games out. But it's just because the Phillies are on fire. I mean, the Braves are 11 games over 500, which is fine. I would love if my team was 11 games
and
over
they're doing it.
500.
They're doing it with Austin, Ronald Acuna, and Austin Riley have looked highly inconsistent, which were 2 big pieces from the
Oh, I
World
know
Series
Acuna,
game.
but MVP favorite entering the season again, but and he's just definitely not having an MVP year right now. He's not even mentioned among the
But
five.
they're getting it from Chris Sale, who's sorry, 7-1 with the
I
two.
know you just love bringing that up every week, but I hope he starts getting pounded just because I don't want to hear how great he is when he's not on my team.
Oh,
I don't want him to get
he's.
hurt, of course, but I just hope he starts getting pounded.
I mean, if he's healthy, he's one of the better pitchers in baseball with that
No, I
arm
know he
angle
is.
and his size being what 6'6", and his arm angle, his whip, will be one of the better. Was always one of the better pitchers in baseball.
Oh no, he has that weird. I know. I mean, it just adds to the whole making it difficult to hit the guy.
But yeah, I mean that's another. It's a two-team for me, and probably a lot of people. It's a two-team race, and I think anybody could come down to pitching. Phillies, and I mean, personally, the NL East probably been a two-team race for the last couple of years, anyways. Even with the Mets, you sprinkle in the Mets every once in a while, but can't really count in the Nationals or the Marlins as a team that would compete to win the division.
I know the Marlins started winning a little bit more. They're like 7-3 their last 10. So the media's down here is a little nicer on them, saying, well, at least they're actually playing decent ball, but they got themselves in such a hole. I mean, there's no getting out of it. But at least they're already 20 games out in that 20 games, and we're sitting here on May 24th, and they're 20 games out of first place in the division. But if you look at their last 10, they're 7-3. And what good has that done them? Nothing, because in the last 10, Philadelphia is 9-1. So even when the Marlins have played their best baseball, they've still lost a couple games over the last 10 games. So it's not, it's crazy.
I mean, right at 4, we got 30-18 Baltimore, 3 games out right now. Getting Rutschman 299, Gunnar Henderson 16 home runs. Burns
I
is
mean, Gunnar
4.
Henderson's up there in the MVP. I know everyone's saying Soto right now is like the glamour boy, and Judge has eked into there. But Gunnar Henderson, I want to dismiss him
No,
either, man. He's
definitely not. Uh, Burns is looking good, 4-2, 2.56 ERA. I don't know if Grayson Rodriguez has got the most wins. I don't know if he's back yet.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I mean, that's a two-team race. It'll probably come down to very late in the season who gets it. I mean, I'm gonna probably go out on not a big limb, but I'm gonna guess both those teams are gonna make it. One's gonna get that wild card slot.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it'll be Baltimore because I'd like to play in New York all the way through October. Getting home field advantage, but who knows?
Yeah. I know. Who has the highest? This is way off topic, but who has the highest bat speed in all the? It's not even close. I won't put you on the spot because I wouldn't have known if I looked it up. But it's the only reason I'm asking you is because you guy. But it shows it doesn't mean everything. Gene Carlos
Okay. Well,
Stanton.
I don't know. Are you trying to get me to get a guess, or you don't know? You
No, I
know?
know, but the high.
Okay,
I would tell you because I don't think you would know. It's your
Uh,
buddy Gene Carlos Stanton.
okay,
That's
I was gonna go. I know. Oh, I think O'Neal Cruz has number 2.
Yeah. So, but I had no clue because they were saying, let's see. I said, Stanton is the king of bat speed. There's
He
Big
definitely
G,
is.
and then there's everybody else. Stanton is the only hitter in baseball with an average swing over 80 miles per hour. Keep in mind that the MLB average is 72 miles per hour. The threshold for what people consider fast swing is 75 plus. So we repeat, Stanton is averaging over 80 miles per hour.
I I,
Oh, and
I will.
then
I will.
yes, number 2 is O'Neal Cruz.
I did not look. I did not look at. I'm looking now because I wanted to see, but I did not. I know he had like the second hardest hit ball the other day, O'Neal Cruz.
So I know. I mean, all these stats they would have never even had a few years ago, measuring bat speed and exit velocity. And you can debate either side. Do they really mean anything, or they, whatever? But it's just kind of fun to let know when the people are hitting it, how hard they're hitting it, and then how hard it is swinging, man. I mean, if Gene Cardinals
Yeah, I mean,
would
yeah.
hit someone with that, he would, if he would swing at someone. I mean, that's a lethal weapon for sure in his hand. I'm liable to maybe hurt someone's knee with it. He's liable to kill someone with it. So it's
I
just like,
remember I was scouting the area code games when it was in Long Beach when I was still scouting, and this guy Tyler Soderstrom, he's from Northern California. Actually, got drafted by the A's, and he's now in their organization. And he just hits this, and it should. I mean, if anybody else it was an out, and he just hits this piss missile off the bat, and you just saw the second baseman just jump out of the way.
No, I
But
mean,
yeah,
I would too. I know as I was sitting in the stand on some of those line home runs that are coming in there these days on Surisek moving out, I let someone else get the souvenir, or maybe I would get lucky and it would bounce off of someone that I would catch the ball back. I'm serious. I'm not going to try to catch it.
no, I'm not.
But,
I don't. I think, especially not a Stanton home run because that thing's flying. Uh,
yeah, that's just someone, whatever. So a single. Let's see. Anyway, guys, it's a reminder, though. If you are in here, please comment. We got like 12 people watching. Let's all the platforms. Tell us at least where you're watching, so we know where we're getting some attention. So that'd be cool. So thank you guys, and let's see.
yeah. Well, we got at three's my team, the Yankees, who are 34-17. Soto's is batting 312, 41 RBIs. Obviously, Hal Steinbrenner wants him back in New York, which I think I want him back in New York. Uh, I know the Mets are already, Mets fans are already chomping at the bit that he's coming next year, and Mets fans will always talk about that. But he's going to get a lot of as a young, he's going to get the bag.
I know for sure he's gonna definitely get the bag by someone. It's gonna be an open market bag for him. Like you say, he already turned down a huge amount of life. He had generational money. I mean, his family would have been set for life. His kids would have been set for life, and he turned it down. So you know he's expecting. So that's why, unless the Yankees just offer him something so astronomical, I'd still be surprised if they don't at least negotiate. Not saying that they won't go back to the Yankees because the Yankees may just say, "Well, we're going to match and more, whatever the match." It could be a battle between the two New York teams, seeing who's going to write out the bigger checks, you know. So, but if by any chance, Boris changes his, every so often a book changes its cover and whatever. But if he goes by standard operating Boris procedure, he's going to want the players to get, especially now that it's come this far, you're not even a couple years out where he could say, well, we got to calculate injury possibility more and more. He's like right there at the cusp of, and he's having an MVP caliber year. Like I said, there's a few guys are, but he's having a, so why is he going to not get
I mean,
everything? Unless the Yankees, like I say, just offer him so much that it's like, oh, no one's, let's just get this done.
I could see Scotty. I'm kind of with you. He's complaining, but about that luxury tax, I think he'd probably want to try to get rid of. Obviously, I would for me being personal, I want stand off the books, but that's also a hard contract to get rid of. But I mean, if unless he gets like a Ohtani 10-year $700 million deal, I don't think the Yankees can afford to not match it. If you get him, say he gets 10 to 12 years, 500 plus million, you're gonna just have to get it to him because he's such a.
And I hate to say it, in that ballpark, I don't know why he would want to leave. In that ballpark, man, is ideal for his
And
swing.
if
A
we're
home
in
run is,
if he's playing in the AL East too, which is not a pitcher friendly division, it's a hitter friendly division.
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Sometimes that Yankee right field, man, it's like they hit a pop fly, you would think, and then it's like gets out of the stadium. I'm like, holy crap! And then half the time it's like, oh, that's not a homer in 28 of the stadiums across the. I'm like, son of a gun. But hey, it's how they made the
I mean,
stadium, and
I I think if I don't know if he gets Otani type of money, I would definitely think a 10-year, 500 million plus deal would be something you have to give it.
oh, that's a minimum because didn't he turn down 450 guaranteed?
You gotta give him some. Yeah, I torn down 415 with the Nationals, and that was what 4 years ago. So yeah, I mean, but most of these guys can miss the ball in there. I mean, Rafael Devers did that the other day, and in Tropicana, he missed it and still put it out in left field.
I know that was good. Hey, that was fun, and thanks for giving Devers some love. He was actually the thumbnail on this show today because
I
he had
mean,
a 6 game home run streak. So
oh,
we got to get
Devers,
small victories in Red Sox land these days. So that was fun
Devers
watching
definitely
him.
is a solid ball player, and I mean, always he's got a good hitting approach, so it's nice. But I mean, yeah, Judge can miss. Judge is just so big, he'll miss and he'll go out. And even saw that. I'm not a big all-star. I'll watch a home run derby a little bit when they were in Miami, and he was missing balls and still putting it out in right center.
Yeah. No, I mean the guy's just. I mean he's huge, man. I mean he's a big, strong young man, and it's just when he makes full contact on the barrel of the baseball, it's you might as well forget
But
about it.
I'll throw a little downside to my Yankees is uh, finally what Clay Holmes finally gave up a run, blowing a save to the Mariners. First run he gave up in 20 innings. That was really not that good. Yeah, Judge is 32. He went and played
Oh,
3 years.
okay, neither do I. He looks so young. I can't believe he's already
Yeah,
32.
I mean he played 3 years in college, so I mean
Yeah.
you're obviously played 3 years at Fresno State. So yeah, I mean you're obviously his timeline started 25, 26. So I mean, yeah, Clayton Holmes finally, gave up a run. wasn't a good, loss. Saw that they're up 4-0. I
I
thought
was
that.
trying to hide my face from that, and but he put the bigger picture in there. But he's the boss of the studio, so I was trying because my face got a little red. I've been walking so much, and Bobby's
Who's
just exposed me, but it's
who?
okay. So it's all good. You're beautiful, Russ. So don't worry. So
Oh, thanks, man.
because my face is so red from the walking
Hey,
lately.
hey, Rob, I'm really excited you're getting out. It's hot as hell down here in Florida, but always getting exercise is a good thing. Just staying, it's good for everything. So suck up and just don't, make sure you're drinking that water.
Yeah. Oh no, I have to drink a lot of water, so it's all good. So that's part of
Look,
my regimen.
I'm
I drink.
for me, my
You're giving me
biggest
advice
surprise.
right now, and I'm going to take a swig.
Yeah, right. I mean, I always got my water here too. My biggest surprise is the Yankee pitching staff. Luis or yeah, no, Luis Heel Saturday pitched against even though it was the White Sox, went 14 strikeouts against the White Sox, and then the other day against the Mariners went 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, 1 hit, 2 walks. This was the guy who only got the fifth spot in the rotation because Garrett Cole was out. And then you got Rondon, who's got 5 wins. Clark Schmidt's got 5 wins. Stroman, who should have got the win against the Mariners, who looked phenomenal. So I'm health until Cole, for me, stay healthy, and then once Garrett Cole comes back, who's now starting to throw, I'm excited. It's the most excited I've been.
No, I know. As a Red Sox fan, it pains me to say you guys are having a great year. It just,
I mean,
it
this is the
happens. It
most
happens.
excited
So
I've been as a Yankees fan in a while, since probably 2018, because of the style they had been playing, and now we got some young guys up there with Volpe and Soto, and these guys aren't just hey, we're gonna bash as many home runs, which I'm excited. Yeah, Clay Holmes definitely came out of nowhere. This guy was struggling to find the zone, so they must have Matt Blake, I think, their pitching coach, must have figured something out, because he had a couple good years, and then could just had a couple years after that, couldn't find the zone and just lost it. So it was definitely a surprise.
yeah. Well, speaking of surprises, I mean, well, for you who scout these guys and all that, but going back to the West, the A's, Mason Miller, man, that guy, he
I
is
didn't.
insane.
I
But
didn't.
I don't think the A's would flip him at trade deadline just because he's so young and he's under the rookie contract. So I just don't see them flipping him. But boy, he would be an asset to some team that is in the race, and they could probably get a. But why he's young, so I don't see them flipping him. It's not like a high price guy. But man, that guy is nasty.
Yeah, I mean, at some point the A's are going to have to realize they're moving to Las Vegas, and they're going to have somebody to market the team to this area that's never had a baseball team, a Major League Baseball team, that they're going to have to sell tickets.
Yeah. No, I know
You
they. You would think they would spend some money at least going into the Vegas. I mean that's a different market. They're going to sell just from tourists going to ball games, and they're going to have a market of people going to the game. It's going to be a nicer stadium than the junker that they've been playing in the past few years. Next couple of years, they'd be in a minor league stadium. But it's just they're gonna have to start spending money. But man, this kid's nasty. I was watching him the other day. They did a piece on him. I'm like, man, some of these guys they're not even coming close to hitting him. It's horrible, man. Have you seen him at all?
I've seen a little bit. Yeah, his stuff moves, so that definitely he's got that speed, but you got a little movement to it too, a little run, as we call it in the baseball world. Is
Yeah,
is you know so, but yeah, I mean, you wouldn't flip him because he's a controllable asset, but you gotta. I mean, for me, I think you gotta have somebody you're gonna market the team at, and right now they got nobody, and obviously they still have a couple more years. A couple more years in what this year in Oakland, a couple of years in Sacramento, three with
yeah,
four. I think it's three with the four option.
right. For yes. So just in case there's like a back, something happens and the stadium's not completed or whatever. So it should be. Hopefully they spend, but that owner, so the fans out there hate him, man. Every time they go to games, they wear T-shirts saying "Sell the team" and whatever. But at this point, it's just sad, man, because Oakland's been there. They used to be a dominant team back in the early '70s and stuff like that. And
70s.
then then with McGuire and Canseco, yes, they were dominant for maybe reasons they shouldn't be dominant or whatever, but they were dominant and they had some good teams. They had accuracy closing out games, and it was they were a crazy team to watch. And then it's just now
And
they're just a joke. They just become a joke of a franchise.
they were in the World Series against the Dodgers that 1 year. So I mean, it's not like they've never been there.
Yeah, no, I know. And then they won, or like in the '70s, that's where
I mean,
Reggie Jackson, one of
yeah,
your
Reggie
Yankee
is
greats.
started off with the A's, and they were good in the early 2000s too. I mean, they always got screwed in the early 2000s because every
I
year
know they made the whole movie about Moneyball. They made the playoffs and
I mean,
stuff.
they
So
always had to play. I think we played the A's, every other year. Uh, but I mean, hey, 2001 they almost beat us. I watched that. I have that 2001 on film. I'll watch the A's, and then I'll watch AL Central or the ALCS. I'll watch the first like 4 or 5 games of the 2001, and then I'll shut it off. I won't watch anymore. But I mean, the A's were right there. The latest on Cole is he's starting to ramp it up. He hit 90 the other day on the gun. So he's starting to throw off the mound. I don't have a timeline. I'm really hoping maybe if he's I mean, if they're playing as good as they are, might as well keep him, until he's of 100%.
yeah, no, I know. Might as well. They're playing well. You guys took over the Red Sox best ERA on baseball, so you guys are pitching well, hitting well. So yeah, there's no reason to rush them at this point.
Yeah,
Keep them
I
for
mean, no
Graves.
need to get him fully healthy and then ready for a playoff run in October. Got
Yeah,
the Dodgers who are 33-19. Otani 354. Uh, Bueller had his best start since back from Tommy John. 6 scoreless against the Reds. Yamamoto's 5-1. Glasnow 6-3. But I'm going to throw this at you, Rob. When do you think Shohei decides, hey, I should either just focus on pitching or focus on hitting?
I think if anything, you're going to focus on hitting just because he's so good at hitting, and it's just, I think that's what he would focus on if he ever does that. I do believe, though, he wants to do both again because he doesn't want this injury to be what people remember that he couldn't pitch again. So I think he would like to pitch again. But if he had to concentrate, Rob Mosley had both of those skills, I would take the hitting because you play every single day and, you're just out there and you can really impact, you can really, I just think he's a better hitter than he is pitcher, but both are good. I mean, but either one you would want on your team. If he only pitched, you would want a guy like that on your team. If he only hit, you would like a guy like that on your team. But I would say if you had to concentrate, it would be hitting, just because I mean, look at it. He's like leading everything.
I mean, I think hitting's probably more sustainable, especially with he's just DHing, that he can
Yeah.
sustain that longer. I think he ends up maybe not, you know, in the near future, maybe 4 years down the line from now, decide, hey, maybe I should just hit. And obviously,
Yeah.
it's showing. I mean, what his impact is on the bat with the bat for the team, and obviously, unbelievable pitcher. But I mean, with the Dodgers, he definitely has that luxury where if he feels that way, he can you
Yeah.
know just focus on hitting.
Did you see where the team pranked him the other day? They
Oh
they
yeah, yeah, I saw that.
they told him he was going to be pinch hit. He had like a shocked look, but he was going to take it. He's like, oh, then they're all telling him, hey, we're going to pinch hit for you, and he was like, had that look like you're going to pinch hit for me, and it's
Yeah, he would just
I know. He was
every,
accepting it, I guess, but he was like, oh, okay. He goes, yeah, we really want to have a lefty up here or whatever, so it's just like, but he bought it hook, line, and sinker. So that was funny. Uh,
yeah. I
good
mean, you're not
stuff.
pinching for that guy. Yeah, lefty, lefty. I don't care. You're throwing him up there every time.
Oh yeah, no, there's no way you're gonna take that bat out of the lineup. I mean, he's just He's insanely good, man, and you can see he put all the controversy to start the season behind him. It's in his rearview
Did
mirror.
you
He's not.
did you see the who's the um was it one of his teammates with the Angels who has the gambling who put money down with the same bookie that Otani's uh, interpreter did.
Oh boy.
He's not with the Angels anymore, but
Okay. These guys, man, gotta be careful. Otani was smart enough, man. He's like, if he had anything to do with it and had knowledge, he knew how to cover his tracks for sure. So that's he had the guy, the scapegoat, ready to go, the fall guy.
yes, he did. All right,
So
we
I
got
mean, like I said, maybe the guy just really truly 100% embezzled. Maybe we would never know because he just took the fall, and it's just it is what it is. So. And obviously the weight of the investigation wasn't bugging him because he's out there smacking the ball around.
it doesn't matter to him. He's still dominating. Trying to find this story.
Well, if you put it like that, but how many wins do all those homers relate to too? But yeah, 20 wins and pitching, Scotty. That hardly anyone even gets there anymore. But I still say the hitting would be the bigger impact because we don't know how many of those homers could lead to wins. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of.
Yeah, I think so too, Scotty. But hey, if anything, what I think happened, maybe he bailed the guy out. Then he realized, oh, that could even get me in trouble. So now he's just like,
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know,
I don't know how much involvement. I haven't really, I kind of got sick of the story, so I was like, I'm sure he probably had some involvement, enough involvement in it that if you really deep dive, you could find some. But I mean, that's a
I'm
lot of
sure
money.
now, you can't stop federal investigations and stuff, but baseball's like, nothing to see here. There's nothing to see. That's like their calling card,
I mean,
Otani.
I'm
So
sure baseball's like that. They don't want to deep dive because this guy's it's going to a big market. A lot. This is the
no,
biggest
go to a
story
big
in
market team. And
big
then not
market
only is he huge here, he's tremendous in Japan. I mean, he's a rock star in Japan. They
rock
say
star
he's like
Japan,
bigger than
A-star,
anyone. He's bigger than like
an
Michael
A-star.
Jordan and whatever over in Japan. He's just like an icon.
Yeah,
And
I mean, yeah,
so
I mean, yeah, the Korea, all those places. So the MLB is gonna didn't want to deep dive into it, which I'm fine with because the guy's great for the game and is a
yeah,
must watch every time he is steps to the plate. Right now, that's all he does is step to the plate. But even when throwing, he's a must watch.
yeah.
All right, so we'll wrap it up. We got the Phillies best record in baseball,
Same here,
36
Scotty.
14, but you did say that they have had the weakest strength of schedule.
Yeah. So that's what they say. But about strength of schedule, just like in football and stuff, got to play what's on your plate, and they've beaten everyone on their slate. And they got the best record in baseball. They just mentioned that this morning on the MLB this morning show that they talked, and they was just saying that that is just something to take into consideration. But he goes, we would know better after June because it gets a lot tougher in June for the Phillies. They start playing
I mean,
some
they're
top
saying that
teams.
about the Yankees too. The Yankees have played a lot of a lot of the AL Central, which is a hit and miss. Because you have the Tigers, you have the White Sox, which is three easy. At least the White Sox is three easy wins. Twins
Yeah.
swept, but I mean they'll play you tough, even though they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't play Utah. They beat down on the Red Sox. I was just saying he might be surprised if the higher ups him in Japan are trying to help him cover. You never know, man. I wouldn't be surprised. That's what you know. All kinds of stuff out there. He's just too big of a name that they don't want to fall. So that's the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean he's just too big of a face that the MLB doesn't want to do a deep dive.
Because if they really have no other choice, because if he did bet on baseball, they would have to do the Pete Rose treatment, and they sure as heck don't want they don't want that. So it'd be like he would go right back to Japan though, probably, and be the super mega star. But
I
you
mean, yeah,
know,
And
You
the
know, but
difference with Pete Rose and Otani is Otani's playing, where Pete Rose was doing this as a, as a coach, as a
right.
manager. So
Yeah. But it's posted in all the clubhouses and no gambling on baseball. It's been
oh
there
yeah,
since
I
the
mean that's every sport. So yeah, I mean don't be doing that. But he's too big a face. They can't lose him.
yeah.
But I mean I'm excited. The season's been solid. We have a lot of good parity in both. A lot of good young teams for me. Uh, so I mean I'm excited. It's looking like a great year.
But he said he would still play the best even when he was still that role of player manager because he didn't have that role for a while. So I forgot almost about that. But they were talking about that the other day that he was a player manager because they were talking about player managers of the past. It used to be common and it hadn't been done for a long time. Then Rose did it, and then it hasn't really been done since then.
I
So
mean, for me, if anybody wants, young baseball player, go listen to Pete Rose talk about hitting. He is a genius. I could listen to that guy talk about hitting approaches for hours. It is great. I was what during it might have been 4 or 5 years ago. He's talking about hitting approaches with Big Poppy and Alex Rodriguez, and you just see their faces are just lit up because he's like, you never change anything. You just change where you stand, and they're
yeah.
just deer in headlights listening to this guy. And I mean, hey, you listen to Pete Rose when he's talking about hitting.
I mean, there's no doubt he's one of the best baseball players ever. He just had too many other issues in life. But baseball,
Oh
if
yeah,
it's just strictly baseball, he's one of the best to ever do it. But it's just unfortunately he had some other bad stuff that popped up over the years. So it is what it is. But yeah, just for that, I mean, when you think about an all-time hit leader, all-time home run leader, these guys aren't even in the Hall of Fame. It's kind of just weird. It's just like if you would have said that several years ago before the whole steroid accusation and stuff, you would have said, "What home run leader of all time and the whatever, the hit leader of all time and one of the best pitchers in Clemens of all time. These guys aren't in the Hall of Fame. You're nuts." And here they are, not in the Hall of Fame. So and players a lot less caliber than them are now, and not knocking anyone that's in the Hall of Fame. If you're in the Hall of Fame, you deserve it. But there's people that have definitely a lesser resume than those guys.
yeah.
You know,
All right, Rob. Well, anything you're looking forward to coming up? Just watching baseball, or
uh, I get cheated out. This is the only game I can listen to on the radio. But I can't be listening on the radio while I'm talking to you, obviously. But the Red Sox games on the Apple TV, and I'm not signing up for. I did it last year, but then I got to remember to cancel it. I'm not going to do it. I got the Red Sox package, so one day missing's not going to kill me. But it's just like, oh, I don't like it because I mean, how many damn packages do you need? It's just like the NFL now. Now, if you need Netflix, if you want to watch, I have Netflix anyway, but you got to watch Netflix if you somewhere other than the local market of your team. If you want to watch football on Christmas, you have to have Netflix. You got to have Amazon streaming if you want Thursday night football, and if you want all the games, you need YouTube. I mean, it's just
you need
crazy, man.
Paramount Plus too now.
I know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. It's like they're going to just keep on. Eventually, someone predicted on the radio the other day that the Super Bowl is going to be eventually just become a pay per view. I think
I'm
that's when I'm
ready.
out. If that would just be. I think that's when I'm out if they go pay per view unless the Dolphins make it. And I think it'd be raining dogs and cats before my pigs to be flying in the sky. It feels like before my Dolphins are in a Super Bowl again. But
I'm going
it's
to
just like
address this. I am fine with McGuire and Sosa not being in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds, for me, I don't care about steroids, is a Hall of Famer.
yeah. Well,
I'm 100%. Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. I think
See, and
Clemens.
then I bet you the fan base is 50-50 all across the board. It's like a divided topic. But I mean, yeah, if you Bond would have been a Hall of Famer before he ever took,
No, this
if he
guy was
never
a
took,
30, 40 guy in Pittsburgh.
yeah, no, I know. Now Sosa, yes, he's probably wouldn't have put up if it wasn't for some of those roids, I think, So, who knows? And McGuire, I don't know, but
I don't think
Bonds is the
McGuire's
only
all.
one I think for sure would have been in the Hall of Fame, even if he never touched a steroid.
I mean, Bonds. I think Clemens still deserves it, but that I mean, I don't. It won't happen. Those two.
Yeah, I
Sosa
know.
definitely no.
Yeah. No, he did. I know he did screw up. I mean, he screwed up. And we know what else doesn't help him is with the media too, is that he had a reputation of being a hard guy on the media, and so these guys remember too. So that doesn't help either. But yeah, he definitely, he screwed up, Scotty. I do agree with that. But like I say, you could debate because he's probably was going against pitchers that also had steroids in their system. So it's just like, but hey, he messed around. I don't know if eventually he would just get in because people's stances are changing a little bit by a little bit, but we will see if they ever. I don't know. He's never gotten the what is it, 70% they need?
Yeah, yeah. So he hasn't got there, and I don't know if he does, but I mean, I think it's a tough thing when there was a lot of guys using steroids during that era.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? And you're still got to you still I mean steroids doesn't mean that makes you an unbelievable hitter. That
No, I
just
know. You
makes you
still got to be able to
stronger.
hit it, and I know you still got to be able to hit the ball, make contact,
You
drive the
still got to be
ball.
able to hit a
But it
round
may
ball.
give you that a couple that could have been warning track outs are now flying into the stands,
You
But
still got to hit a round ball with a round bat.
no, I agree. I'm kind of middle of the fence on this one because I can see debates on both sides. If you just, but Bonds, I would 100% agree with you. He would have been in the Hall of Fame if he never touched
Oh, 100.
steroids. But then he just started getting all bloated, and the stats got better as he got older, and that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So, and it's just, but yeah, other people, can get in there. So who knows? I know you're never convinced me it's okay to cheat. I get it. I get it, Scotty. It's not okay to cheat. It's not. And it's
No,
just, but, it's just, I think he's being, but I mean, it's not okay to cheat. That's it. Simple. I agree with that, Scotty, on that part.
all
But like I
right,
say,
Rob. Well,
when I listen to you about Bonds, I would say he would have been in the Hall of Fame. The other ones I can't so surely. Maybe Clemens, like you said, because I don't think Clemens was juicing during his Red Sox years and all of that. And it's more related. A lot of them did it just to extend their careers.
I mean, Andy Pettit should be in the Hall of Fame, but he did it to a lot of these guys did it for recovery, and he'll never get in the Hall of Fame too.
Yeah,
This guy's got what 5 World Series,
yeah. So I know.
but
No, it's just what it is. Anyway, man, it's that time on Friday night to wrap
oh
this
yeah,
up.
well,
And
thank you for everybody who joined us. Make sure to hit that like, smash that subscribe button for us. This is On Deck. I'm Russ Morgan here with Rob Mosley. We'll see you next week.
thank you, everyone that chimed in. Have a great weekend. Be safe. See you next week. Enjoy Memorial Day weekend, too. Be safe.